So for quick introductions, I know many of you, but my name's Kelsey Crowley. I'm the strategic account executive for the Northeast here at NewCo. But we're, as Zach said, super excited about the merger between Evolve IP and ATSG. And we're certainly grateful for your time today to allow us to expand on our additional capabilities and answer any questions you may have. As you can see, by combining the organizations, it increased our numbers as a company across the board in areas like revenue, our client base, employee base, managed endpoints. You can also see a sampling here of some of our select clients, both from the ATSG legacy base and also the Evolve IP legacy base, just to give you an idea of some of the clients we do business with today. But the main thing that we want to convey today is basically overnight with this merger, we became one of the largest MSPs nationwide. So please think of us as the premier one-stop shop for managed services and cloud solutions. We think that this provides great opportunity for both us and for our partners to cross-sell and upsell into your existing client base, and also as you acquire new clients. You will see us putting money back into the business, into our solutions. So you'll see a significant increase in R&D investment. And really what this means to both us and also to our partners, which, who bring us in to sell these solutions to our clients, is larger wallet share of our client base and of the marketplace, which translates to more money, which should be a good thing for all of us. But I'm going to hand it over to Gary and Dawn, and they'll really get into what those additional capabilities really mean from a solution perspective.
Thanks, Kelsey. I'll cover the Evolve IP piece, and then I want to pass it over to Dawn. So as I assume all of you guys know, we're invested in three core businesses, right? Our collab business is largely centered around Microsoft Teams and Cisco WebEx. That's underpinned by our BroadSoft platform. As you know, we successfully navigated the VMware Broadcom merger and did emerge as a Broadcom preferred shop. So we are primarily, when it comes to a DAS, we're primarily a VMware shop. As you know, as some of you know, I should say, Broadcom divested its desktop business, and hence the new name Omnissa. So as far as desktop as a service and infrastructure are concerned, we can deliver our solutions either via VM or Azure. And then, as you'll see, one of the things that happened with the merger with ATSG is that one of their companies is DinCloud, which is exclusively a Citrix desktop and infrastructure provider. So haven't seen the final numbers yet, but we should certainly emerge as, if not the largest, but one of the largest privately held DAS companies in the world. And with that, I'll shift it over to Don. He can walk you through the rest of the ATSG product offerings with one side note. The side note being is that all the names are going away. We're anticipating that in February we will introduce a new brand. And as I've often said, I'm going to have a lot of T-shirts for sale when this is all done. But Don?
Great. Thanks, Gary. And again, thank you everyone for taking the time on Monday morning. So you're very excited about the talent experience team that is now from EIP, now part of the ATSG family, as part of this merger acquisition, if you will. I think we've got some really significant capabilities that have really expanded our ability to actually service you as our partners and really help you go to market in an even more meaningful way. Certainly, we recognize that we have to earn your business and earn your the understanding and respect of the service that we deliver. But we're very excited about what we can do now. We've strengthened and deepened our skill sets in a couple of different areas. So I'll go through what I call our 4x4, and then at the end we can certainly ask questions and then go from there. But so the first area I go through is our managed cloud, as Gary said. Now with the integration of the Evolve IP cloud, as well the desktop as a service, as well as our ATSG DinCloud, both always mentioned in the Gartner hype cycle, but also a challenger within the Magic Quadrant. Very excited what those two can do together, because now we provide both you and, more importantly, our customers more options in terms of it helps them meet them where they're at, help them kind of deal with different environments. So providing that both at a desktop level, but also at infrastructure level from a hybrid cloud perspective. So very excited what we're able to do together. Unified communications is something that we weren't, ATSG did not have deep strength in. We had some, certainly some skills, but certainly deepen our capabilities with the unified communications with Evolve merging. You'll see that some areas we're deep in, and some areas we've brought in. I mentioned our hybrid cloud. Next area, which again, really excited about, is our managed network space. Again, what's exciting about here, in addition to adding our UC and CC capabilities from Evolve IP, we've really, if you look at the Magic Quadrant under managed network services specifically, you will see ATSG and now the combined entities as a leader in that space. And the team has done a phenomenal job earning that right and respect over the last 7 years, moving up from a challenger into the leader space. Very excited about what we do around the LAN WAN space and how we differentiate versus a tool. And what we provide is really a true end-to-end service around helping customers manage their networks. The next piece we talk about is around managed operations, another area where I spent almost 30 years of my life doing IT outsourcing. I spent 3 years as a CIO, so I've also been on the buy side of these services. But really, what's critical is a lot of these things are not core to many people's business, so we're able to provide you as a partner, but and your customers with the ability to outsource their operations in a meaningful way. And we can help customers depending where they're at with a fully outsourced or hybrid onshore offshore model. So think about managed operations around enterprise service desk, tier 1 through tier 3, ITIL based ServiceNow as our ITSM platform, ability to marry that with our remote infrastructure management. So think about a NOC associated with that, as well as, and I think this is a meaningful capabilities around our depot and field dispatch. So the ability to provide a full end-to-end solution where you have an end user, you have a site location, a data center, where not only have you identified an incident, need to remediate, you also can deploy the resources seamlessly to help mitigate and remediate the issue. And really, so a full service operation, tier 1 through tier 3, as I mentioned. So very excited about managed operations and what we can do there. And then last but not least is really our we really recently launched an enhanced managed service MDR capability, our ability to help customers really deal with the bad actors in the environment today. Certainly there are other players out there, but where we feel we differentiate is really not only in the ability to do the MDR, so using powerful tools like CrowdStrike or Microsoft Sentinel, or leveraging customers' investments that they've already made, helping again meet them where they're at, help them understand and separate kind of signal from noise. I always refer to, there's too many alerts. Most customers have 60 to 75 security tools in their environment today. Being able to help integrate and provide that single pane of glass so they can see and understand what's really going on, really creating greater visibility using automation, machine learning, and really kind of helping prioritize these incidents. Because as you can imagine, there are thousands and thousands of incidents on a daily basis that come about. And really, how do you really understand what you should work on? Helping mitigate. I tell people it's not a matter of if, but matter of when they begin. How do you make sure you quarantine and minimize any impact those bad actors can have? So really excited what that MDR capability can bring to the market for you and your customers. So again, more of this, so we can deep dive in any of these areas. But we also this is something that we're really excited about, the 4x4. But we also complement it with a couple of different areas. So we have a strategic procurement area, which really helps us when customers come in and say, "Hey, I need to manage or implement a new network." We can not only do that from a professional service, but also help them buy the equipment, integrate it, and manage it ongoing. So really wrap that whole service together in terms of one complete offering to customers. And we can do that both from a CapEx or an OpEx model as well. So pretty exciting what we can do with all these when you combine them together, or even individually they stand alone, and the industry recognized, and again, proud of what the team has earned in terms of where we sit within each of these quadrants, if you will. So again, with that, I mean, that's who we are. Really excited about it. Really excited about learning who you're learning about your customers, working with you, how we can add value, how we can really work tighter together to take these additional services that you've known Evolve IP before, but now really take with ATSG, Evolve IP combined, how we can take them to market and win. So with that, we can open it up to some questions, and otherwise we also ask people questions.
So, and while Zach, you're doing that, just a couple of points that I wanted to draw on. Comp rates are done, okay? And very, very competitive. I'm really excited that for Enterprise Help Desk, we're going to pay 14 points on that. We're going to pay 14 points on Managed Network Services, and we're going to pay a full 20% on MDR. The last comment, I wasn't sure if I had heard Don talk about this, is there are some consulting services that are available in terms of penetration testing and security assessment. We will also pay 10% comp on those. So with that, Zach, you want to open it up?
Absolutely. So I'm just putting in the chat here that cameras and mics are now active. So if anybody has a question, just so we don't talk over each other, if you could just hit the little raise hand button, that'd be great. But yeah, who wants to go first with questions?
You don't mind picking them.
Got my Hollywood Squares chart in front of me, so I'll just pick one right in the middle. All right, I'm going to go with Eric. Sorry, Eric. Appreciate you being nice and maybe feedback initially on what you've seen or heard so far.
We might have Eric taking a bathroom break.
Well,
I'd like to.
Scott
Go ahead.
Robinson actually has a question, but Zachy still is muted, so maybe Eric is as well.
Sorry about that. My
there you go.
bad.
No
Oh,
worries.
no
I
problem.
just want to know what's the ideal customer size for your managed
Great.
support?
Yeah, great question, right? So, and I'll kind of answer more than you asked. So sorry about that, Eric. So when you look at across the 4x4, there are different ICPs. So I do a custom profile for each one of those. They're similar, but they're not exactly the same. So managed operations, generally speaking, and most of our services are around, I think our sweet spot, that doesn't mean we won't go below and haven't gone above, is around 200 to 1,000 FTE employees from you look at an employee perspective. Some of these areas we also measure in terms of number of locations, especially when you're into a distributed location. Some of these services even play even better. So, 5 to 10 locations, I think we become even more relevant in terms of managed network services, for example. So there are some of it is dependent on number of people. That's kind of where I start. Certainly revenue is another metric, but then also number of locations. I don't know, hopefully that answers your question, Eric.
And then the other thing, Eric, that's interesting about when you're looking at managed network services and enterprise help desk, a help desk is typically based on number of users, could be based on number of trouble tickets. Typically, managed network services is based on number of locations and number of devices that are monitored.
Then on MDR, we do number of endpoints, for example. So there is some variability, but I usually, as long as we start a number of people, that's usually at least a good starting point.
Well,
Thanks, Eric,
you know what, Kelsey, with John DiOrio right there, not quite Paul Lynn's center square for me, but we know how important John is. I'd love to get some commentary from John.
Just curious, you guys are the resources you have out in the field doing the depot and the implementation support. Are those yours, or are you guys getting supported by somebody else?
Yeah, great question. So when it comes to the warehousing and depot, those are our facilities, our people within those warehouses and logistics centers. We do have some third parties when we need it, but really that's overflow. When it comes to field dispatch, we have some of them are ours, and some of them it is through a private we call it a private network, something we set up through people we've worked with over the past. We do a really significant effort around really qualifying and really tracking individuals and their performance and how they relate to our customers. So it's a combination of both, John.
Okay. The other question I had was your NOC support. Is that all in the US, or is that global?
Yeah, so we're actually global, so we can provide customers that are sometimes comfortable, sometimes they're not realistic on a onshore, offshore. So we can do onshore only, offshore, or hybrid, depending on customers.
Okay, great. Okay.
Did you say Scott had a question, Kels?
I thought he did, but he said not sure I have one. So.
Don't be shy.
Well, wait, he just typed one. Some of the recent complaints we're seeing on the cyber is how frenetic the action is, i.e. so many vendors, so many things to track, up to 100 tools per ecosystem.
Yeah, right.
How will we see this to a more manageable single interface?
Yeah, so again, I think let's get Scott and others here as well. I think you'll kind of get more of the meat on that around when we do a deep discussion on the product itself in terms of the offering and how we deliver it. But essentially, what we do is we ingest all these tools into a common platform, and this we ingest up to 120 different tools already. That's kind of standard, and we can continue to add as we go forward. And this is a partner that we use to help get there. And then so we bring that in and we call it the workbench, and then we have the SOC analysts going through and helping understand it. There is through some, I mentioned machine learning, some automation, and some experience that we're applying to understand which ones are noise versus which ones are true incidents, and we help prioritize and manage through that. So the ingestion platform is already available. We bring those in and then we start to use the tool and the experience, knowledge base, runbooks, et cetera, to help make sure that we're focused on the most important issues.
And Scott, one of the things that I'll add to this, and Don, correct me if I'm wrong, because as I'm learning about it, is that the initials MDR, EDR, XDR actually do have some meaning. So, what's the biggest complaint in the MDR space is everybody's good at the D and they're not too good on the R. So we've got the XDR platform, which I believe is a Cisco that's looking external to the network. We have the endpoint, which is CrowdStrike, and then XPEL is actually the SOC that manages both network issues or endpoint issues, and then they are actually the ones that respond and remediate. Don, did I get that right?
Well, partially, Gary. So we partner with XPEL. I think we're one of the only MSP partners that have them. So we leverage their workbench, and we also combine our resources. We provide the level 1, 2, and 3. They also supplement our resources as well. So it's a combined team effort, but it's their workbench that really is the differentiator. They're kind of in the Gartner equivalent and Forrester in terms of the Forrester wave, and so we're excited about what they do in the marketplace. Been out there for about almost 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Excellent.
And then it looks
Joe?
like, yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, Joe.
I have two questions. First question is, are you guys going to move to, I think it's Operator Connect versus what you guys were using before? The second question is, how do you plan to not step on the toes of the ones that are operating as MSPs? Some of my partners would be upset if you guys went in there and tried to sell them cybersecurity or something like that, versus just what you're selling them, maybe a phone system or whatever that product is. I'll step back.
Joe, I'm gonna take a shot at that. We are today, as you probably know, a direct routing partner for Microsoft. We have looked at Operator Connect 20 different times, and the challenge that we have if we go Operator Connect is we don't get to do as much with the product as we want. Now your second, so I think it's still potentially out there. Will we transition from being direct routing to Operator Connect? But for now, we're going to stick with direct routing because it really provides us the differentiation from a product perspective. Now, your second question is, how do we stay in our lane? We stay in our lane because, the bulk of the business that legacy Evolve IP's done over the years has been based on the business that folks like yourself bring to us. So if you tell us up front what lane to stay in, we'll ensure that we stay in that lane. I hope that answers the question that, or the concern that you may have brought up.
Yeah, my only comment on top of that, Gary, is this, and this is the way I run my life and run my business, which is you got to honor the lead source, right? You got to operate with integrity. That's just how this channel works. When you violate that, you ruin your reputation. So our brand around being a strong channel partner is working with our channel partners to make sure, if, as Gary said, we need to stay in their lane, then we stay in our lane, and we operate with integrity. We have worked. I've always told you our toughest competitors are also our deepest partners. So we'll work with people as well. So again, we'll take your lead as going into customers, There may be overlap because, as an ATSG customer, for example, that might be some conflict that we'll just have to work through on a one-off basis. That just it happens when you go through M&A situations. But again, we honor the lead source and we'll follow your lead.
And one thing I want to add is that we've heard that a lot of the existing MSPs will do the help desk, but only if you buy MDR with it. And we hear that from some of the bigger folks that are out there. For us, those two businesses will remain mutually exclusive. So we could be a help desk provider and perhaps not get the MDR, but we won't force our partners to buy both. I hope that helps as well.
I just saw Tim McDonald on, and just knowing your business and kind of what you guys focus on, I'm curious if you have any questions, Tim, or any feedback.
Yeah. We have a couple of DoD contractors, and I wonder with the merger between Evolve IP and ATSG, how would we be making sure that the security operations center, the network operations center, and everything would comply with NIST and CMMC, CMMC2, now back to NIST, and that whole revolving door that's associated with DoD?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Great question. Yeah, so I'll talk to our product owners and answer the question. I know we have evaluated kind of our focus on the federal kind of DoD space as well. But I'm not sure exactly where we're at. But certainly, we'd have to meet with you and the client, if you will, to understand what those regulations are that we need to understand we can or can't support it. But I'll have to talk to our product owner. But as a takeaway, Tim.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
I think we'll go to the hand raising now. If not, we can. Zach, I think we can give everybody a couple minutes back to their day. Yes.
Yeah. John's got one. John, fire away, John.
Yeah, Don. So if you were looking at your overall business, what would you call the sweet spot for ATSG in terms of customer size and industries, et cetera?
Yeah, well, from a customer size, ATSG prior to Evolve, and we really focused on that 250 to 2,000, if you will. And I've kind of narrowed it down even in this conversation, as you can imagine, because I really feel that we can really, make rain when it comes to that 200 to 1,000, if you will. But 250 to 2,000, we have customers in up and down. We have customers in the Fortune 200 even. So, but and in each offering, I will say, I'll give you an example, John. So on our managed network services, most of those customers are going to be upper mid market. So these are large enterprises. So you think about someone like one of the top two carriers in the country, one of the major hospitals in Wisconsin, Michigan, Texas. And so these are significant upper end, if you will, organizations versus someone like our help desk, where we have organizations really, that 250 to 1,000 I mentioned. A lot of the top retailers, for whatever reason, we've happened to be strong in the retail space. You name a high-end brand, they're probably a customer of ours in one shape or form of that managed operation. So a little bit does vary, but I would say really that 200 to 2,000 was originally our sweet spot, and I think I've narrowed that just for the purpose of really for the channel to help us gain success and momentum in the market.
Got it.
And
Thank
then,
you.
John, the only thing I want to add to that, and I think Kelsey and I talked to you about this, is that as a DAS client, we can take DAS all the way down to low SMB, down 30 to 50 seats. I would tell you that for enterprise help desk, I agree with Don, but he's the sales guy, I'm the channel guy. He wants 200, I'll take 100. So if there's a 100-seat enterprise help desk opportunity, we're going to want to take a look at it. And one of the things that becomes very helpful as we begin to look at the deals that make sense to us is the more products that they take, the minimums begin to decrease. So if somebody's got 50 desktops and wants 50 seats of help desk and 50 seats of MDR, that's going to end up being a good opportunity for us. So I think that gives you two answers to chew on a bit.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Zach, we are right on time. We got to start on time. We got to end on time, right?
Well, let me
We're
just
good.
close it out by saying thank you, everybody, for being here. I know just taking time out of your day. Really appreciate it. We'll love to schedule with Kelsey and the team, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, whatever, in terms of going down deeper into the 4x4, into the products. Really look forward to working with you. I know we have to earn your trust and respect in these other areas that you've known Evolve IP for, beyond Evolve IP. Look forward to doing that, and really thank you for being here today, and have a great week and have a good holiday.
Yeah, thank you, Don, and thank you everyone for joining.
Happy holidays.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.